Hi, we're here with the amazing Lane Carson.
The amazing.
The amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, and Lane has done an incredible project called What's Your Medicine, which we will show you a trailer of. And what I wanted to bring him in for is he's had a bunch of things that happened, as you'll see in the trailer. As a child, you were diagnosed with depression?
Right. Yeah, so
tell us about that.
Sure. I mean, the premise behind What's Your Medicine really is, as a child, I was diagnosed with depression. I was prescribed medications, prescribed pills, as many people are, especially where I'm from in the Midwest. It's like, how do we solve this problem? We're going to just throw a pill at it. And so I knew at a young age, and I was 13, 14 years old, and they were prescribing antidepressants, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. Some people do need that to find, a happy medium, but I don't think it's a lifelong journey for many people. And what a lot of people are missing is, what other natural medicines can we do to heal? And that's what really led me on this journey, is I was given the opportunity at a young age. I said, well, what do I need to do besides taking pills to get better? And it was take care of yourself, get exercise, and do some funny stuff, and go have some fun with your life. And I was like, great, got it. 13, 14 years old, I'm like, done, I'm on a mission. And from that point forward, I made it my mission now moving forward is to share this journey and to share what other types of medicines are out there for people to heal. And I'm also reminded of, there's certain people that have come into my life that have really influenced and changed the way I think and some of the behaviors. And one of the first books I read that shifted my mindset with all this was the Celestine Prophecy, which was when you see certain people and they're gleaming and glowing a certain way, you're like, that's literally where I first found this. It was like, who are you and what is your medicine? I was like, you're shining a certain way, you're glowing, why are you so happy? And I was having these types of conversations with people, which then led me on my first time to go on to meditation. I literally met a girl at a casting. I was like, who are you?
She was
you're
glowing.
Just glowing.
She was
it's like,
radiating.
you're way happier than everybody in this room. What is happening? And she told me about Vipassana. And that's what led me on my 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat, which I've never meditated in my life, and I wanted to learn, and that was a great way of breaking the wild horse of like, your 10 days of complete silence, this is happening. And again, that then led me into ayahuasca, which then led me into doing Kambo, so it was these certain people that were coming into my life that were radiating something that I wanted, and I wanted to know what it is that they were doing with their lives and how they had shifted their own patterns. Another perfect example is I met a girl that was doing spiritual psychology. It's a 2-year master's program, and as soon as the words were coming out of her mouth, I was like, I'm in, done. I just knew that, and so I'm looking forward to the next, who's going to tell me the next thing that's going to shift.
So you're wide open to any possibility of all sorts of new things coming in.
Yeah, I think what's happening, Katie, is I'm getting to the point of, if I'm wanting something to shift in my life, I'm attracting that person or that situation in order for me to do that. And I'm at a place of surrender and all of that, of the power of my thoughts and the power of my beliefs, power of you want to call it manifestation. It's I'm attracting those people, those situations for me to better myself. And I think for the bigger and the greater purpose is to share that story with others.
Great, and which leads to what made you decide that you needed to share this with the world? What was the moment or the reason behind it?
Yeah, there was this talking about my own journey, which was this brought up a lot of stuff for me, a lot of my own fears, a lot of this. Am I supposed to do this show? Am I supposed to share this journey? And it really was, a lot of the people around me were reflecting that, you should. This was for me it's individually, it's such a powerful experience that shifted my own life. And if I can change, this is really if I can change one other person that watches something that I do, that's going to change their world, it's worth it for me. So on the grander scale, I was like, well, as far as what is my mission in this lifetime? What am I here to do? Why am I on this planet? This was all the questions I brought into, I did this 2-year program, spiritual psychology. What is my mission? Why am I here? I just didn't get it. And so this stemmed from a lot of that work. And so even though I'd say my ego side, and even, there's some of those thoughts that come in are like, who are you? What do you think you're doing? And I was like, well, look, at this point in my life, this is what all of this work has led to. So I'm just going to step into it. I'm going to embrace it and keep sharing this story. For the greater good, for whatever it is. And I'm stepping forward into that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, obviously you've experienced all of these different modalities of healing. Can you share some of the, like depression's obviously one of them, but what are some of the other curable diseases using natural plants and
Sure.
body work?
Yeah, so I would say two of the big ones that have come into my own life that I can speak candidly about are ayahuasca, which has also been obviously helpful for depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress. Which has been amazing is there's been some soldiers that have come to my life suffering from post-traumatic stress. Being able to bring them into an atmosphere where they feel safe in order to let go and go into ayahuasca states. Another one is Kambo. Kambo's been a big one as far as talk about a factory reset button in your body. So whether you're a soldier or somebody that's grown up in a traumatic, childhood, or it doesn't even matter if it's traumatic, but we all hold on to things from the age of, from 0 to 7. It's like these are your building blocks. So you want issues, there's where a lot of them are stemming from. So if we're hanging on to these, there's certain behaviors, but there's certain medicines and there's certain practices that we can do to help reset and align ourselves to our highest self and to our authentic self. Ayahuasca has been one of those for myself. Meditation's been a big one for me like that. Kambo has been another one. These are just certain, I would say another tool that will help allow you to let go of what's not serving me anymore and come back into myself, or just come back into yourself.
I know a lot of people are affected by cancer right now.
Yeah.
Have you found of any of the people you have experienced that some of those really help with something like cancer?
Yeah, I mean, well, ayahuasca, for instance, has been able to. So what happens with ayahuasca? I mean, you guys can do your own research on that one. But so with ayahuasca, what ends up happening is you start paying attention to what it is you're putting into your body. And you think a lot of the cancers are feeding off of the toxins that we're putting into our body, whether it be the thoughts, bad thoughts, or it be the intake of food, alcohol. We're poisoning ourselves within that. And so with plant medicines, it's also it's bringing us back into what is pure, what is nature intended us to put into our body. And so it's very powerful in that. I'm not saying that it's the miracle drug overnight, your cancer's going to end, but what you are going to start realizing is, where is this cancer coming from? What are some of the things I can do to shift in my own body, my own behaviors, in order to rid that? And so, and I've seen, there's been some beautiful examples of that, and you guys can, I'm sure you've researched that yourself.
Totally.
With people being able to shift that. And it doesn't always have to be a plant medicine. That's what everybody comes to me and they're like, so if I do ayahuasca, am I going to cure it? It's like, that is one aspect.
It's getting yourself into a state of mind to then have the power within self, right? To
absolutely.
Actually, maneuver these things out of our bodies.
Yeah. That I like to think of it as like, that's 20% of the work, if you really want to think about it. The other 80% is how you're integrating that knowledge into your present day. So let's say you're in a plant medicine ceremony, or you're at the greatest Tony Robbins seminar, workshop of your life. You can have that blissful experience, but unless you're applying those tools and those practices to your life, what is it worth it? If you know you need to go meditate, if you know you need to go do yoga to shift, or you need to exercise, you need to stop drinking, if you don't apply those tools, if you don't actually walk that line to wellness, then what are you doing? So you have that choice.
Totally.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and
Absolutely.
we want everyone to follow Lane. What's the best way to follow your journey so that we can basically support you on this amazing quest to help mankind?
Beautiful. So are we going to have a link on this page?
Yeah,
or something?
absolutely.
Great. So we'll add a link, What's Your Medicine, and we'll have a what'syourmedicine.org, and we have what'syourmedicine.net. And you can just follow my journeys on my homepage there. We also have the Instagram account. So follow us there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys.
Yay! Thanks, Katie.
I think everyone has the right to well-being, to integrate mind, body, and soul into harmony. But the world throws a lot at you. name is Lane Carlson. I grew up in Minnesota, and I watched my family and friends get overprescribed medication to cling to their greatest resource, their health. As a kid, I was diagnosed with depression, and I knew that pills were not going to be my way to healing. So when I got out and I discovered the world, I saw that there is other ways to heal. So I decided to devote my life traveling the world, discovering healing hands, miraculous plants, and sometimes bizarre practices that are making people's lives better.
Trust yourself. Open your heart. Reduce your ego.
I'm meeting all different types of healers, different practitioners.
Letting go.
The premise behind the show is to discover who these people are and what their medicine is.
My medicine is shamanic healing.
And my medicine is the Wim Hof method.
My medicine is hunger.
Sound is my medicine.
Healing isn't always easy.
Ayahuasca, physical sensations in the body range from ecstatic, erotic, to painful.
But I'll stop at nothing to bring that knowledge home.
People need to get rid of stress. They need to shift this whole focus of materialism and keeping up with the Joneses. Discover their hearts, what's happening in their hearts.
Join me on my healing journey. What's your medicine?